The winter of 1941 was more than cold. It was a deadly adversary. Picture a young German soldier outside Moscow, shivering in a foxhole as temperatures plunge to -40. His greatest fear isn't enemy fire, but the numb, waxy feeling in his feet. He's seen men survive bullets, only to lose limbs to the cold. On the Eastern Front, over 100,000 frostbite cases struck the German army that first winter. 14,000 required amputations. The cold removed entire units from battle, not with violence, but with silence. The same story played out in the Ardennes, where American troops suffered tens of thousands of cold injuries. These wounds ended careers and left lasting scars, physical and psychological. Soldiers described their feet turning to ice, numbness creeping in, and the dread of never regaining feeling. Many faced a grim choice: keep fighting and risk losing their feet, or seek help and face the surgeon's saw. The cold was a silent predator, sapping morale and strength. Unlike bullets, it struck slowly, eroding bodies and spirits. Men watched their own bodies fail, not from heroics, but from relentless cold. Friends hobbled away, not from battle wounds, but from blackened, useless limbs. The cold didn't care about bravery. It claimed anyone it could. Across Europe's frozen battlefields, the unseen enemy left a trail of broken men. In this war, the environment itself was often the deadliest foe. Why did so many soldiers lose fingers and toes? It's all about the body's survival instincts. In extreme cold, the brain prioritizes vital organs, cutting blood flow to hands and feet. A process called vasoconstriction. This sacrifices the extremities to keep the core warm. As blood retreats, fingers and toes freeze, ice crystals form, and tissue dies from within. First comes tingling, then numbness, then flesh hard as frozen meat. Skin turns pale, then blue or black. Necrosis sets in. Thawing is agony. Swelling, blisters, and burning pain. The cruel paradox. Pain means possible recovery, but it's nearly unbearable. The body's logic is harsh. It can spare a foot, but not the heart. For soldiers, this meant their own bodies betrayed them, taking away the tools they needed to fight. The very systems meant to save them left them crippled. Thousands suffered this biological tragedy in the cold's grip. In war, survival instincts could be as deadly as the enemy. A soldier's gear should protect him, but in WWII, it often did the opposite. The German army, expecting a quick victory, sent men into Russia with summer boots, leather, steel-soled jackboots. These boots froze solid, and the steel drew heat from their feet into the ground. Tight fits left no room for warm socks, worsening frostbite. Americans in the Ardennes fared little better. Their boots and cotton socks soaked up moisture and froze. Some had rubber overshoes, but not enough for all. Wet cotton socks became icy rags, pulling heat away. Planners far from the front prioritized cost over survival. The result, boots and socks became instruments of injury. Survival often depended on luck, whether you got the right gear. For thousands, poor equipment meant a lifetime of pain. Frostbite wasn't the only threat. Trench foot haunted wet, muddy battlefields. It struck in cold, damp conditions above freezing, rotting feet from the outside in. Constant wetness broke down skin, letting bacteria and fungus thrive. Blood vessels constricted, starving tissue of oxygen. Nerves died first. Feet felt numb, heavy, then swelled and turned blotchy. Pain followed, burning, tingling, then blue or purple skin. In severe cases, gangrene set in, and amputation was the only option. Soldiers watched their feet rot inside their boots, powerless to stop it. The psychological toll was immense. Trapped in mud, knowing every hour brought them closer to crippling injury. Trench foot was a slow torture, breaking spirits before bodies. The ground itself became the enemy. Reaching a field hospital was only the start of a new ordeal. Surgeons worked in harsh conditions, with limited supplies and endless casualties. Their goal, save as much limb as possible, but options were few. They waited for a clear line between living and dead tissue, a process that took days or weeks. Infection was a constant threat. If gangrene spread, amputation was the only hope. The procedure was brutal but necessary, often with scarce anesthetics. Surgeons faced agonizing choices: cut high to stop infection or low to save more limb. Every amputation changed a life forever. The saw was often their only weapon against the cold's devastation. Lacking proper gear, soldiers turned to practical wisdom and sometimes their enemies' habits. Soviets wore felt boots and used portyanki, foot wraps that dried quickly and could be changed often. Regularly changing foot coverings was a lifesaver. Soldiers learned to keep spare socks dry, tucked under armpits or in waterproof bags. During lulls, they aired out feet, massaged them, and loosened boots for circulation. Improvised solutions, stuffing boots with straw, greasing them for waterproofing, became common. Never sleeping with boots on and relacing them loosely helped prevent injury. These small acts of ingenuity often meant the difference between keeping or losing a foot. Survival depended on discipline and shared knowledge, not just courage. Sometimes a dry foot wrap was more valuable than a bullet. The war's end didn't end the suffering for those with cold injuries. Amputees faced a lifetime of prosthetics, pain, and phantom limbs. Even those who kept their feet endured chronic pain, cold sensitivity, and nerve damage. The scars were physical and psychological, memories of agony and fear that never faded. Many struggled to explain the trauma of watching their own bodies decay. The frozen front lines taught a harsh lesson. War's true cost includes the wounds that never heal. Proper boots and dry socks could have spared thousands from lifelong suffering. In the end, the cold was an enemy that left its mark long after the guns fell silent.